welcome to my channel. More about the 3D. It is not your job to change the 3D. You cannot change the 3D if you're not paying attention to what is going on inside of you. It's a really common thing that we're always trying to make the 3D conform. We're trying to make the 3D conform to what we want, but that kind of missing link is, if that's not going on, what's going on inside of you, you're going to get that. Imagine inside you have a projector screen and it can only project what you are feeling. So your emotions and your deep-rooted beliefs and your assumptions and all of that are being projected outward. It's not really outward because it's all part of you, but then you are seeing pictures in line with what is going on inside of you. So trying to change the 3D is a massively futile process if you're not changing anything inside. It has to come from the inside. You can just ignore 3D, as in ignore trying to change it. Don't try to change it. You don't need to change it. All you need to do is look at shifting internally. So shifting the 4D, changing something inside of you. The outside will then catch up, because 3D reality is a byproduct of 4D reality. It isn't the other way around. Another key bit of advice is this: don't be scared of confronting the 3D, of looking at the 3D, of analysing it. From an analytical point of view, look at it. So just imagine you're a third party and you're looking at somebody else's 3D and you're analysing it and saying, okay, what's going on inside of you? Okay, well, that's why this is going on the outside. So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing, projected onto the 3D because of what's going on inside of you. So look at what's going on inside of you, tally it up with what you're seeing, and you always can, if you're honest with yourself and really go deep and feel what you're feeling and know what those sort of deep-rooted beliefs are and those patterns that are showing to you over and over, why they're showing to you. Write it all down. I'm not a great one for writing down. I never have been. I just do it in my head. And I have written things down, and I do occasionally, but I have to be in the right frame of mind. But most people, I think, like writing stuff down. I'm not a list maker. I'm just not that kind of person. But writing it down does give you real clarity. I probably would have done back in the day. I did do a lot more writing then, but I just don't do it now. But so you say what's going on in your 3D, and then you have a look at what's going on inside, and you can put the equal sign. So this is going on equals this, what I'm seeing. This equals this. And so it's just a really good indicator of why you're seeing what you're seeing. And then you say to yourself, okay, what would I need to change inside in order to see something different on the outside? Okay, I would have to start feeling more like this or start feeling more like that. Does that seem like a huge leap? Yeah, it does. In some cases it will. Okay, where's the middle ground there? What's the middle ground that I can find? And just be very, very analytical about it. And that way it doesn't matter. And do you know what? If you try to run away from the 3D, bury your head in the sand, kind of pretend you're ignoring it, but you're not, because you can still feel it, because you're not really ignoring it in that case. Because ignoring it's one thing, ignoring it and going, yeah, whatever, that'll change. That's great. But most of us can't do that. We tend to get a bit lost in it and think, oh God, but how's this going to change? And this is like this now, so how on earth will that change? So we dwell in the 3D as it is now, and that's what you need to stop doing. But running away from it and pretending to ignore it when you're not really ignoring it isn't useful, because it doesn't allow you to sort out what's going on in here. You have to bring it all back to here. You have to bring it all back to 4D and forget about the 3D, because the 3D will naturally sort itself out when you've sorted yourself out inside. So if nothing is changing on the inside, then nothing will change on the outside, because it can't. Because how can that projector project anything other than what you give it? So if you think that it's going to project something different whilst you're feeding it all of this stuff, you're feeding it the tape, whatever they use. They don't even use projectors anymore, do they? But you're feeding it what you're feeding it and then expecting it to show a different picture, and it isn't going to. But if you purely take the 3D out of the equation and think, that's not my problem, 3D is not my problem, what can I do about that? I can't do anything about that, but I can do everything about this in here. I can do everything about the 4D. That's my thing to concern myself with. 3D, not my concern, is going to catch up. So being analytical about it is really, really useful. I find it completely useful. If I'm stuck, I get really analytical with what's going on inside of me and what I can see on the outside. And it really helps me to realise what I'm doing and what I'm thinking about and what I'm dwelling in and what I'm not doing that I should be doing. And then it helps me adjust my feelings accordingly as the best I can, at least do something. So doing something different will produce something different. It's just the way it is, isn't it? Okay, that was just a really short video. I wanted to clear that up because I get a lot of people saying, how do I change the 3D? And I'm always saying, take your attention away from 3D. Don't even try and change 3D. It's all about this. It's all about 4D. 3D is kind of irrelevant. It's not irrelevant, but what I mean is it's only going to change dependent on what's going on inside of you. So if you take it all to that and forget about the 3D, it's a bit of a relief actually, thinking, okay, I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, that's not my problem. Let's just deal with what's going on inside of me. Let's look at what's going on, analyze it, and go forward with a better plan, a different plan. Okay, thank you so much for watching.